these benefits are going to nail salons and
It does.
you go out and you see people waiting at a food pantry, and I won't say any specific ones, sitting there having Dunkin' Donuts, sandwiches and coffee, and you say, and smoking, cigarette after cigarette. No, they're expensive.
Oh, they are very expensive.
If you need that money for food, then you should buy food.
Right. Right.
Feed your family. That's what it's there for. And it's gotten out of hand. It's got to the point now where there's entire generations that have been brought up on state and government programs.
Good point, Dan, because it is supposed to be transitional assistance, and unfortunately it's become a lifestyle for people. And we have to get back to what are the work requirements? What are the education requirements? Because there's supposed to be work and education requirements for people who are on this kind of assistance. And we have to enforce those and get people, we don't want people to be dependent on the government. We want people to be able to support their own families and to support themselves and to have that confidence so that they can be productive citizens.
Well, the government's making it too easy for them to be non-productive.
It is.
Okay, because if I could just sit home and somebody buy my beer, cigarettes, and lottery tickets all day long, then, guess what? Jerry Springer all day for me.
Yeah. After these stories have come out, I have gotten so many emails and phone calls from people who are very concerned, people who have been on the program and say, look, I used it for a year because I needed it and now I'm not on it, and it makes them very angry that others are abusing it. We've got seniors who can't afford to buy their medications, people who can't heat their homes, and yet we see these drug busts. We see people going on and spending their money in other states that are vacation destinations.
Oh yeah, casinos. If you take your money, we're looking at casinos in Massachusetts, but there's casinos elsewhere now. You could take that cash and go down and go to Connecticut and put it in a slot machine.
I don't know what kind of restrictions they have
cash
there,
is
but
cash.
Right.
Again,
well, that's right. The cash part.
Is the casino's not going to. That's not a requirement.
And the other thing is we need to look at is photo IDs on the cards, and to see if it's feasible and to put photo IDs on the cards, because at one point we did have them.
Well, it's unfortunate because that would be a great thing for two reasons. One is we've had your good friend of mine, Olivier Kozlowski, in here, who has tried like crazy to get an initiative petition to have a photo ID to vote, and it just ran into one obstacle after another, and it just seems like the most basic thing.
It does.
And it's weird because like you see a lot of unions fighting this, but yet the union elections, they have to show an ID to vote.
I know. It is the most basic thing. You have to show a photo ID for so many things in this country.
Right.
And voting should be one of them.
Yeah, voting is small potatoes on the grand scheme of things, and it's just to say,
well,
yes,
I don't think it is.
No,
I think
it's just to say I'm here. I'm me. I am me. That's all it's telling you. It doesn't tell you. It's not a status symbol.
Voting is one of our most sacred rights here,
but they
and
say
so we
people,
should be showing that
They
ID.
say people that are down in their luck and everything. It's against these people, and it's not. It's just I'm me. I belong. I'm an American citizen. I have a right to vote. I'm going to exercise that right. They should be proud to do that. And I don't see it as a detriment to anybody, and that's what happened. I mean, he got it from all angles.
Oh, I know. But you know what? He's tough and he's sticking to his
guns.
But
maybe if there's a state issued ID to go along with these programs, then maybe that'll work as a voter ID. A stepping stone for voter ID.
Well, there would be a picture on there, so it would be an ID.
Yeah.
It would be a picture ID.
Yeah. So where does this now? How does this? Let's get back to your committee now. Now this is like we kind of glanced over. This is like a big deal.
Yes.
Okay. And the fact is that you didn't need all the headlines, and believe me, you got plenty of headlines on this. You pretty much hit the circuit.
This is an issue that people are very concerned about, as well they should be.
Yeah.
And it's a bipartisan issue. Everyone's concerned about this.
And I'm just looking over my notes here because this was such a big deal. And the fact is that you were ahead of the curve on this.
Yeah.
And it's not like one of these deals where there was this huge police action, huge sting and a bust, and everybody jumped on the bandwagon. You were already driving it.
Yes, so, I have been driving it. That's a good way to put it.
And it says here, it says here, the operative on that sting, the operative would buy a bag of chips and a soda and merely ask, is this cool? The clerk would ask, how much? The clerk would ring in a $100 purchase, okay, and give the person $50 and keeping $50 for the house without a single item of food being bought.
Right.
Isn't that lovely?
And
And
then
you,
they
I,
get
and all
those.
you people out there paying for this. And it is. Most people who receive the federal food stamp benefits also receive cash assistance.
Right.
Now, that doesn't all just come from the state. That also comes from the federal government through the state, or
Yeah,
how does that work?
well, the cash assistance is a state program. What they call SNAP is the food stamps, and that is the federal part of the program.
Right.
And so people, they end up selling those cards too because of the food stamps that are on them.
Right.
You can sell the card to somebody.
Right, and
but
that's
if
gone
there's
on
photo
for a long
If there's a
time.
photo ID on that, you couldn't do that.
Right. And now it says here, the state will spend $329 million for cash aid to families with dependent children this fiscal year.
In FY12, the number I have is that we'll spend $416 million.
416. All right, then I got this off a newspaper article, but
Yeah.
So $416 million, and that's just to go to cash for people that's unaccounted for.
Right.
So that's taking $416 million of our money and just throwing it up in the air and hoping that it lands in the right places.
Yes, there's no oversight, there's no accountability for the cash.
Okay, so this is something the committee's going to look at.
Yes.
Of course, if you get rid of the cash, I'm stuck on the cash. I don't see the need for cash.
I've been trying very hard to think of what people would need cash for. I mean, I can think of a few things, but they don't always wash because I thought, oh, well, maybe people would need it to buy lunch for their children at school. But if you're on this, your kids probably get free lunch at
Free
school.
lunch, that's right.
So,
yeah, this is
you
it's
know,
turned
I
into an entitlement society. You really don't need the cash. You get everything
Yeah.
else. You get everything else for free or darn close to free.
Right. So, I've already gotten my letter. I'm appointed to this committee by Brad Jones, the minority leader. And so I'm still waiting for the governor to appoint his person, the majority leader to appoint their people. I've asked for, a meeting this Friday or next Monday or Tuesday, Wednesday, but people are on vacation. They're not quite ready to get going yet, but I hope they get ready soon because we don't have a lot of time. We have a due date for our report of April 1st.
Right.
And
So
we've
let's
got
hope.
a lot of work to do.
Well, let's hope there's not a lot of feet dragging here. And if there is, you're going to let me know, and we're going to get our troops out there to get on the phones and on the emails and start barraging them.
I'm going to be very optimistic that I think everybody's going to take this very seriously and work very hard to make real changes in the program and not just some Band-Aids that look like something was done when it wasn't.
So now the average EBT card gets $475 cash every month.
I've heard a few different numbers, but I've heard in that range.
Well, this is according to the State Department of Transitional Assistance.
Okay.
They're the ones that, which is part of the Health and Human Services Department.
Yes.
So I think they might know.
So, well, that's debatable. No, but so I have heard in the $400 range as well.
Right, and let's see here. This is interesting. People who are eligible to receive cash if they fall below a certain income level are individuals with dependent children under 18 or 19 if they are still in high school, and pregnant women with 120 days within 120 days of the end of the pregnancy, as are certain illegal immigrants. Okay, that's another problem. Why are we paying people that should not be that are not in this country legally? Why are we paying them anything?
We absolutely should not be.
All
and,
right.
The taxpayers should be outraged.
I know the governor has a certain soft spot for people like that. He thinks that we should give them everything, but that's that's not your deal. That's
and that's part of the application process that we need to look at. What kind of information do we require from people? What are the eligibility requirements to be on the program?
Yeah.
If you're an illegal alien, if you don't have a Social Security number, you shouldn't be getting taxpayer-funded benefits.
No, it says here that you said that certainly the criteria should be that you must be a United States citizen. Pretty good.
Well, it should be, shouldn't it?
Yeah, and
I mean, you need to be here legally.
Yeah. Now check this out. It says here in September there were 29,148 families receiving cash benefits and federal food stamp benefits out of the Revere office alone.
Wow.
Okay, and 25,960 receiving cash benefits, and federal food stamps out of the North Shore office, whichever that is. So typically, the Revere office is the 3rd busiest in the state in terms of household receiving benefits, and the North Shore is 5th.
You know, and these roles have exploded in the past several years.
It's insane.
The food stamp program has exploded so that more and more people are getting it. And, you know, we certainly want to help the people that need it, but you don't want people on the program, obviously, that don't need it. And you don't want people on the program for their entire lives.
Yeah, but you're paying
We're
them.
supposed to be fighting poverty.
Yeah, we're paying them to be
Not
that. We're paying
encouraging
them,
it.
we're paying
Right.
them to be that way.
Right. So that's why we really need to look at how is this program helping people?
Wow. I just, you know, I could see it, you know, and what happens is you always hear from the ones, like you said, that said, you know, hey, I was on it for 6 months. I needed it. I got back. But you know what? There's one of them to every 100 that's not. And you know, that's the problem. It's the other 99.
I know, and there's, I mean, of course there's many people on the program that don't abuse it. There's people on it that need it.
Yeah, but
that we
my
do
point
need to
is
help.
they're few and far apart.
Right.
And none of those people that need it are buying crack cocaine.
Right.
They're
And you know,
buying
there's a
bread
lot of
and
honest
milk and
people
pancakes.
that do need it, that you know need the help with their kids or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But we need to weed out the ones who don't.
So now, what is the plan to see what is the commission now? Is that to just identify the problems and then try to work on some solutions, or are you guys ready? Are you group trying to make some solutions?
Well, we will be making. That's my objective is to find the solutions and implement the legislative solutions that we need to fix the
Right.
problem. You know, someone from the Department of Transitional Assistance will be on the commission, someone from the governor's office, and also a retailer will be on the commission.
Okay, yeah.
And the Inspector General, which is very important because if the Inspector General's on it, things get taken very seriously. He does a wonderful job, and you know, I wanted to be sure that he was included on the commission
Right.
as well.
And to be fair, and I've got to be fair, okay, that the Department of Transitional Assistance, the agency regularly works to probes fraud, okay, and in 2010, they recovered $4 million in fraud. Mm-hmm. Again, it's a small piece of the pie.
Very small piece of the pie.
But you know they are.
It's not enough.
It's not enough. Okay, it does happen, but not enough, not often enough, not big enough. There's still too much abuse out there. So, what do you have any ideal goals that you're looking at as far as what like you have like first off you said you want an ID to have this.
Yeah, I think we need to look at putting photo IDs on the card, and you know, is that feasible? Is it possible? Can we do it? Mm-hmm. We need to look at requiring stores to apply to accept the EBT cards, so that someone, like say an adult entertainment venue, isn't accepting these cards for the cash part. So that in that way we can place some kind of restrictions on the cash. I think we need to look at restricting how much cash people can get per month out of their stipend. So if you get $400 a month, maybe you can only get $50 or $100 in cash, and the rest you cannot take out in cash.
Yeah.
Again,
I'm stuck on the cash. I can't get past the cash. I just don't see. First off, they get you know people get free cell phones, free minutes.
Yeah.
You know, and they say that's not a state program, but it comes out of something. We all pay for it one way or the other, whether the state administers the money or not. We all pay for it.
Well, you know, I've been doing a lot of research over the past couple of weeks, trying to find out what other states are doing, trying to find out what studies have been done, because I am very, very serious about this, and I want to do real reforms that work.
Are we a mecca for this?
We seem to be.
Okay.
I mean, Massachusetts seems to be the mecca for illegal immigration. We won't implement secure communities, you know, and people know it.
Yeah.
And we have very, very generous benefits.
Well, if we looked, last time you were here, we talked about the sex offenders. This seems to be a good place to be a sex offender.
Yeah, unfortunately.
It is.
We're number one in some good things, and we're number one in some not so good things
right.
too.
Nobody really knows what the good things are. I mean, other than sports. Seriously, tell me something off the top of your head that we're number one in that people can think of that readily recognize.
Well, we have some great educational facilities and healthcare facilities.
Oh,
here,
absolutely. So. But that's not what comes to mind when you say that. You're thinking number one. Oh yeah, Patriots. So you got your work cut out for you.
Yes, I do. But like I said, it's been a great year, and I'm looking forward to.
Could be a whole lot worse, you know. You could have done this a few years ago when nothing would get through.
Yes.
You know, it was kind of locked up there. It was a good old boys club for a long time, and I, you know, thankfully they are seeing some of the light up there. Some of them, and you're getting, you know, weeding out some of the people that have just been there too long, and people that, you know, people